And Vande Mataram viewers, on the show tonight, we start with a shocking incident in the state of West Bengal that once again puts the spotlight back on how the corrupt can escape the law with impunity under the ruling state government. That's the allegation that's being made by the opposition. A former Trinamool Congress strongman, Sheikh Shahjahan, is back in the headlines yet again a year after his arrest around whatever was transpiring or happened at Sandeshkhali. And why is he back in the headlines? Because a key witness in the ongoing probe against this former Trinamool Congress leader says that Shahjahan tried to kill this eyewitness. Bholanath Ghosh makes a shocking allegation.
মানে এটা হচ্ছে একদম পূর্ব পরিকল্পিত প্ল্যান আমাকে নিশ্চিত মারার জন্য।
ফোনে অনবরত বাবার সাথে হুমকি টুমকি দিত, সেটা কি সব বাবা সবাইকে বলবে? ওর কাছে ফোন জেল থেকে দেওয়া হয়েছে। তো
শাস্তি চাই, ফাঁসি হোক, নয়তো আমার বাচ্চাকে আমার বুকের মধ্যে ফিরে।
সিবিআই নোটিশ আছে, লাস্টে কিছুদিন ছিল, তার আগে ছিল না।
बलात्कार होता है तो बलात्कारी को बचाने के लिए टीएमसी खड़ी हो जाती है।
यूपी में विक्टिम गर्ल का फैमिली एक के बाद एक जब मर्डर हो रहा था तब भाजपा किधर थे?
Let us quickly understand, viewers, the sequence of events and the main players of the incident that we are referring to. Former Trinamool Congress leader Sheikh Shahjahan of Sandeshkhali allegedly plotted a murder conspiracy against the witness Bholanath Ghosh in a rape case. And this is what the witnesses claimed. The witness was severely injured in a road accident after a truck in full speed hit their car, in which his younger son and the driver of the car were killed. Bholanath Ghosh is a key witness in a case relating to the attack on ED officers travelling to question Trinamool Congress strongman Sheikh Shahjahan in Sandeshkhali in January 2024. Now, while talking to CNN News 18, the daughter of Bholanath Ghosh has said that Shahjahan intimidated her father from jail, and he was allowed to use a phone inside jail to make these threat calls. Bholanath has further stated that he knows the driver of the truck that collided with his vehicle near the Boiramari petrol bunk in North 24 Parganas district. Now, according to Ghosh, Alim Mullah, an aide of Sheikh Shahjahan, was the driver who was driving the lorry that crashed into their vehicle. In fact, Alim Mullah was one of those involved in the attack on ED officials last year, but the wife of Alim Mullah has denied his involvement. The lorry was reportedly in the name of Abdus Samad. His family later informed that Samad had sold the lorry to Nazrul Mullah. Samad's daughter informed that he sold the car to Nazrul, while News 18 reached out to Nazrul's residence. His wife said her husband is also not at home. So it's getting very, very murky, and CCTV footage very clearly shows that there was a bike that sped across soon from the accident site. Looked like someone was calling or someone was intimating and saying, apprising the lorry driver of these movements. Now, the cops have registered a case of murder. Radhika Khera, spokesperson of the BJP, should be joining us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is with us, and Professor Manojit Mondal also with us. My namaste, Jai Hind and Vande Mataram to everybody. Radhika Khera ji should be joining us any moment now. But Professor Manojit Mondal, this is a sad state of affairs. This is not something that is expected in Bengal. The allegation by the BJP and the opposition is that this is a free run for goons, and this is all happening ahead of the upcoming elections. Your response?
I mean, this is definitely a very serious matter, and the police, I think, has in right earnest taken up the case not as an accident. Apparently, it appears to be an accident, but the police have rightly probably registered a case of murder. And that's the difference between what is happening in elsewhere. When we say that in broad daylight, when SP was killed in Haryana, you know it very well. Again, the same kind of mafias, were behind that DSP's murder in Haryana. Even UP in case of the rape and murder, the witnesses were murdered. No cases were registered. And Odisha, very recently, 3 months ago, one of the prominent BJP leaders just brought, just in the evening, and nothing has happened. But unlike in those cases, I think in Bengal, the police is acting, and they have registered a case of murder, no less. I think if there is any conspiracy, the culprits will be nabbed. even if they have got any political leanings to any political party, including TMC, none of them will be spared. That is the Raj Dharma in Bengal that Mamata Banerjee has been, I think, has been maintaining for the last 11, 12 years in the state of Bengal. Again, I repeat, unlike in other states, where we do not see justice, the scepter of justice being held in high. But in case of Bengal, it's happening. Again, I repeat.
Radhika Khera is with us. Radhika Khera, would you like to respond? Because it is Bengal that the cops have registered a case of murder and not accident, and that Sheikh Shahjahan or whoever are the perpetrators will be accounted for. Unlike elsewhere, especially in BJP ruled states. Yes, please.
Good evening to everyone. Unlike elsewhere, it is the only West Bengal is the only state where the chief minister, who is a woman herself, she goes on to blame every victim every time a woman is attacked or raped. She is the one who has the audacity to tell women to stay back at home and not leave their houses after dark. That is the only state where this is happening. Previously, it did happen in Delhi, which was ruled by the Congress government, and Sheila Dikshit ji had gone on to say this, ladki hai, raat ko bahar kyun nikli thi, when a journalist by the name of Soumya was murdered in a brutal manner at midnight in Delhi's Vasant Vihar. Having said that, Mamata Banerjee is also the Home Minister, and we've seen multiple cases of rape. We've seen multiple cases where she's gone on to question the victim. She's gone on to save those who are the accused, and kahin na kahin the link always reaches to the TMC and how the accused are saving them. And look at the audacity of those people who are trying to kill the witness, have already killed the son, trying to break the backbone of the witness so that kahin na kahin kisi bhi tarike se wo jaake gawahi na de, trying to dilute the case, trying to ensure that the safety of those accused. All this, I say it with utmost responsibility, is happening under the watch and the protection of the Chief Minister, Madam Mamata Banerjee. It is very unfortunate and sad, from Babar coming out of his grave to this Sandeshkhali incident and to numerous incidents against rape where the accused have been protected by Mamata Banerjee and her government. Each time Mamata Banerjee is failing the women and the people of West Bengal. And to top it all, she even goes on to say, मैं देखती हूँ कि घुसपैठी कैसे बाहर निकलेंगे. This is the sad and unfortunate state of West Bengal, and nowhere in India do we see any chief minister going and standing up for those culprits, standing up and standing with the culprits, standing with the Rohingyas and the people ki मैं उनको बाहर नहीं जाने दूंगी, standing against the victims. Shameful state which has been continuously happening, and that woman does nothing.
I'm going to keep the ambit of this debate largely focused on Sandeshkhali. Now, public memory is quite fickle, but it's all chronicled in the media and also by the courts of the country of how many efforts had to be taken before any action was taken against Sheikh Shahjahan. What were the utterances of the various leaders from various Trinamool Congress corners, including the Chief Minister and Chief Minister's office herself, before Sheikh Shahjahan was actually apprehended. How ED officials and central officials were actually treated when they went down on ground. All of this is chronicled. The women of Sandeshkhali, what they had to say, and what Ms. Mamata Banerjee's earlier interpretation of what was happening was. All of this, I'm sure, is not lost in public memory, Dr. Ranganathan.
No, absolutely. Good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, the details of this absolutely horrendous, terrible incident will emerge soon. But I'm afraid whataboutery seems to be the sole refuge of the TMC. Now, doubtless, witnesses in cases that involve politicians and political parties, of course, have been coerced, threatened, murdered. But does that mean it's all right if this continues? Do two wrongs make it right? I condemn it across the board whenever it has happened, wherever it has happened. Finally, it is also a point that when this witness, the most important key witness, was going to the court to give his testimony, why was he not under police protection? Was there any policeman inside the car? It seems to me that his son and the driver have lost their lives and he's barely survived. Look, it's not a question of just this incident, as you rightly said, Anand. They say the darkest hour is just before dawn. But I want to ask you, where is the dawn? I want to ask Didi and her clutch of Albert Spears, how many Bengal stories will you hide? You hit the 2024 post-poll violence, the brazen attack on BJP voters, withholding of funds to districts that voted BJP. blocking their water supply. But then you also hit the 2021 post-poll violence, the murderous attack on ED officials, the Ram Navami violence, arrests of doctors who complained of COVID mismanagement, jail for sharing Didi cartoons, slapping of UAP on Bhangra activists, sedition charges on journalists, threats of stopping government ads, political murders, ethnic cleansing, the fleeing of hundreds of Hindus from Murshidabad. Are you also going to hide the alleged systematic sexual assault and torture of women in Sandeshkhali? How many acres of carpet would you need to hide all this, I want to ask? Where are all those who accuse Modi of killing democracy at the drop of a hat? Where are they hiding? They keep saying, we treat truth to power, we speak truth to power. In reality, they speak truth only to Modi, not when those in power are Didi.
Okay. Manojit Mandal, please respond.
No, my good friend Dr. Ranganathan has been talking about all these things probably for the last 7-8 years, almost the same kind of narratives. Nothing really happened. Even in case of the post-poll murder, look, CBI is investigating for the last 5 years, 4.5 years. Why is the conviction? Even in this case, Mr. Anand Ranganathan, even in this case, the CBI is investigating. What is CBI doing? This person, Mr. Sheikh Shahjahan, he has been expelled from the party the moment he was arrested. In fact, he was arrested by Bengal police, not by the CBI, and then he was handed over to the CBI. CBI तो फिर आपको बोलना पड़ेगा निकम्मा है. अगर पोस्ट पोल वायलेंस आपको पता चलता है दिल्ली से, यहाँ का बीजेपी के घर जला जाता है, बीजेपी people are not getting water, then what is CBI doing? For the last 4.5 years, you asked this question to CBI. Again, you talk about Ram Navami violence, NIA investigating Ram Navami violence. What has happened to that, Mr. Ranganathan? Please inquire into NIA. And if the police protection was not given, CBI should have asked. And this person, if he was fearing his life, he should have asked for police protection. Did he ask for the police protection? Did he fear his life earlier? We don't know that. This is a very unfortunate case that had taken place. And I repeat, even apparently this was apparently as a case of accident, police have registered a case of murder. And the police is investigating. Let us wait for the investigation to come, to get over.
The case of...
Why are you jumping the gun?
No, the point is...
Anyone has been found complicit with this accident.
We'll try and play...
Definitely action will be taken.
Okay. No, we'll try and play out. We'll try and play out what Bholanath Ghosh actually told Kamalika.
Yes, but did he ask for protection?
No,
I want to know because there is a witness protection system in place in the country.
No. He did, and he says that this intimidation sequence is not the first one. This is a series of intimidation that has happened repeatedly, and it's been happening. No, he has, and it has happened.
Ask for police protection in writing. That can be given.
He has. 1 minute, he has, and the fact is that he says that he has repeatedly complained about this, and yet nothing has been done. Now, just Radhika Khera and Dr. Ranganathan wanted to respond, and then
those documents. If he has asked for the action should be taken against the police also.
Yeah, please furnish those documents. It has not been taken, and the fact is that he called Sheikh Shahjahan called him from jail. Using a phone and was threatening and intimidating again and again.
That should have been communicated to the police or the CBI. Mr. Anand, did he communicate that to the police or CBI?
Manojji,
that should be communicated in writing that Sheikh Shahjahan is threatening me from jail.
See, the point is nothing has happened.
We do not know that.
What I'm trying to say is nothing has happened. He's lost a son. And that's the level to which the intimidation is happening. That's the level. The idea was to bump him off.
If he had
the idea was to bump him off.
Was receiving threat call from Mr. Shahjahan. He should have communicated in writing to the police and to the CBI.
My simple thing is, I don't want to raise my voice and I don't want to speak over each other. So just please
yield. I'm not raising my voice. I'm raising my concern.
Please yield. What I'm trying to say is, let Radhika Khera and Dr. Ranganathan respond, and then we'll play out what Bholanath Ghosh had to say. Yes, Radhika Khera.
Radhika, can I, because my name's been taken before.
Here.
Okay, please allow Dr. Ranganathan, and then I'll come to you, Radhika ji. Please. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan. Yeah,
just a couple of rebuttals to my very good friend Professor Mondal. Number one, if he keeps on blaming the police at the central level, then can he please ask for President's rule in Bengal, because then the state has the law and order under it, then the law and order and the police would be under the center. Stop blaming what the point of the responsibility that lies squarely on the shoulders of the state police. Number two, can you please tell me, Professor Mondal, that was it or was it not under the directives of the High Court of Kolkata that the case was handed over to CBI? How long did it take for Sheikh Shahjahan, who was on the run, to be arrested? Please tell me the number of days.
Yeah. No,
so that I know that your police is so prim and proper. That how long did it take once the cases came out and Shahjahan was arrested? Please tell me the days.
Okay. Let's just hold that question there. Viewers, one has to realize that most of the investigations that were taken over by central agencies were taken because of multiple court orders and adverse rulings and rulings by the court and dragging of feet by the state police.
Then what is the CBI
1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. I'm just going to put it. I'm just going to put it. Allow me to complete. Please don't speak over me. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. Allow me to complete. The second part, the latter part. 1 minute. Let me just complete. Let me just complete what I'm saying. Don't do this, please, Professor. Please, mat kariye na. So what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, don't. I'm not over. Allow me to complete my sentence. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. Please don't heckle me. Please don't heckle me. You're better than this. Manojit, please. What I'm trying to say is, the part that you have raised is that once the investigation was handed over to the central agencies, what has happened to the investigation and where is the perpetration, where is the charge sheet? That's the question. But the fact is, the other part of the truth, or the whole truth is that this all should have been handled by the state police, but the courts decided that state police is incompetent and cannot do it, and that's why this happened. The other thing is, Bengal in the last 11 years is the only state, viewers, where central agencies were held captive, where central agencies have been thwarted from doing their job, where central agencies have been called names and they have been surrounded. Be it CBI officials by the state police, be it ED officials by the Trinamool Congress netas, or even election commission when they want to go down and do their job on ground. So and their authorities and their people. So they are all central institutions. So I'm just making an observation. Radhika Khera, 1 minute. Radhika Khera.
You know, for months and months together, the SC/ST women of Sandeshkhali kept crying that they are being raped again and again. But yet Mamata Banerjee did not believe them, her ministers mocked them, and everyone went on to protect this monster. After that, the court had to intervene and pull up West Bengal police, which comes. I did not speak over you, sir. Please don't do that. Yeah. This is not West Bengal where you can speak over me. So zip it up.
She didn't heckle you. She didn't speak over you. Please don't.
Please mute him.
Please, no. Please don't do this. Please don't do this.
I am not Mamata Banerjee's spokesperson.
Yeah, please don't bring down the quality of the debate. No, please. I request you, Professor Manojit Mondal, please don't do this. Yes, Radhika Khera, complete.
Thank you. The High Court had to intervene and wrap the Bengal police on their knuckles and say that it's been 55 days and you're playing hide and seek and you're not able to arrest that man. What kind of drama is this going on? You better arrest him. This is what the reality of Mamata Banerjee's police is. Then after that, when he was arrested, he roamed around with a victory sign as if he's won, because it was a pre-decided arrest that kaise they're going to protect the monster. So just imagine a man who is sitting inside jail ensuring that the victim is not protected. Victim protection has now changed to victim elimination under Mamata Banerjee's watch, and he is ordering the killing of the family members and ensuring that those who are the witnesses are finished sitting from jail. Just imagine what those women of Sandeshkhali must have gone through if this is the way that monster is getting everything available. What is extremely sad is that in West Bengal, rapists are getting protection, criminals are getting political protection, and witnesses are being eliminated. This is a sad and shameful reality of West Bengal, which is not there in any other state, and that too where a woman is the chief minister and the home minister. Right. This is the sorry and sad condition of women. She should be ashamed and she should resign from her post immediately.
Right. And then in that case, if the BJP feels so strongly about what the injustice being meted out to the people of Bengal, then they should also do a dharna in front of the CBI and the ED offices, because they have failed to charge sheet the victims of the perpetrators of the political violence. They have failed to charge sheet the perpetrators of Sandeshkhali. They have failed. They are just in prison. They have failed to procure conviction for more than 300 families who are displaced. who had to flee to Assam, flee to Jharkhand and flee to all these places because of the post-poll violence, and it's under central investigation and nothing has moved on that. So let us also not forget that our central agencies are also sitting on their backsides, not moving in to try and teach these perpetrators a lesson. The central agencies have not been able to even hold to account the police officers who orchestrated the gherawing of CBI officials. They have not been able to take action against those people also. They continue to operate in Bengal. So there is a certain level of lackadaisical approach even by the central agencies, and we will call it out. I just want to play out what Bholanath Ghosh had to say.
कल क्या हुआ घटना और आपको क्या लगता है?
মানে এটা হচ্ছে একদম পূর্ব পরিকল্পিত প্ল্যান আমাকে নিশ্চিত মারার জন্য। আমার ছেলেটাকে তো দিয়েছে নিরপরাধ একটা ড্রাইভার চলে গেছে, ঈশ্বর আমাকে বাঁচিয়ে রেখেছে। এটা দেখছি অনেক আগে থেকে প্রোগ্রামটা চলছে, বুঝতে পারি।
आपको मारने से इन लोगों का क्या फायदा?
ওর সিবিআইডিআর কেসে আমি সাক্ষী আছি।
और ये जो ड्राइवर था उसको आप पहचानते थे?
ও খুব আমার কাছের ছেলে, পাশের ছেলে।
वो कौन है? वो क्या शाहजहां इसके पीछे और आपको क्या लगता है कि शाहजहां इसके पीछे है?
একদম
क्यों?
ওই যে বললাম সিবিআইডি যে কেসে শাহজাহান জেলে আছে না, তার একটা সাক্ষী আছে আমি।
और एक पहला सवाल ये है कि ये जो पूरा हादसा हुआ, कब आप कंप्लेन करेंगे? अभी तक पुलिस ने कोई कंप्लेन आपने किया नहीं, कब करोगे?
এই কেস में যে কমপ্লেন তো এই ছেলে যাচ্ছে এখন করে দেবে।
पर इसका आप ये फाइट करोगे और आप विटनेस भी रहोगे ना, इससे आप मुँह करके नहीं?
You can see the marks on his forehead. The viewers have to go to something big. I thank our guests on the Bengal debate. But big news coming through. Thai authorities have actually cancelled the visa of the Luthra brothers. Officially, it's been cancelled. Now, as per protocol, they will have to be brought to Bangkok. Now, Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details. So, they will not fly back from Phuket directly. They will fly from Phuket to Bangkok tonight. They will be taken into the detention center this evening or tomorrow. That could happen tonight or tomorrow morning, that they will move from Phuket to Bangkok and into a detention center in Bangkok. The Indian authorities will start the deportation process soon, and by early next week, they should be back in Bharat. Why early next week? Because you're going to run into the weekend, and whether or not the government offices will function and the machinery will function, we'll have to wait and see. But maybe because of the spillover over Saturday and Sunday, that's why their return to Bharat may happen on Monday. Arunima now joining us. Yes, Arunima. So they will be moved from Phuket to Bangkok.
That seems to be the likely course of action over the next few hours. They've already been moved from the beach area where they were hiding, if I might use that word, because they were constantly changing location. Indigo Hotel is where they were detained from, the pictures of which are on your screen. From there, They were brought to the Phuket detention center, and now we are told they are being moved to the Bangkok detention center. They still have another day. There's still Friday to go where paperwork can move. But then the sense I get is that the Thai police is also taking its own time to vet and ensure that legally they are on solid grounds. So this could take time. Monday or Tuesday is what we are being given to understand the final deportation could happen. But Indian agents are trying very hard to push the Thai authorities to process this as soon as possible.
Well, thank you for that update, Arunima. So it's not going to happen overnight, but it's happening much, much faster in this case compared to instances in the past where convicts or offenders have fled the country and tried to escape the law, the legal system itself. So some patience, and perhaps by Monday or Tuesday, the Luthra brothers will be in Bharat facing justice. Quickly moving on and shifting focus to Tamil Nadu, where an ASI team is currently inspected the Thiruparankuntram hill after a dispute over whether the hilltop structure is a lamppost or a boundary stone. Now, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has also made a big statement on this entire debate, stating that Hindus can resolve the ongoing Deepam controversy in Tamil Nadu, weighing in on the row amid escalating tensions over the traditional lamp lighting practices. But what the Madurai judge, Justice G.R. Swaminathan, says echoes the 1996 order that said that the Devasthanam, owner of the hill, shall alone light the Deepam and ordinarily at the traditional place, that is the Deepa Mandapam near Uchipallayar. Now for future years, it is open to the Devasthana to permit the lighting of the Deepam at any place in Tirupurankundram Hill with prior permission of the HRNC authorities. Now while permitting lighting at any other place, the Devasthanam shall choose a place at least 15 meters away from the Dargah, the flight of steps and the Nellitop area, and from places declared to belong to the Dargah. This order is crucial. It anticipates exactly the sort of request that has now been made to light the Deepam at another place on the hill, sufficiently distant from the Dargah steps. Now in 2005, there was an NOC from the Dargah Now, Justice Swaminathan observed that the Dargah management had in fact signed a peace committee resolution in 2005 expressing no objection to lighting the lamp at the Deepatun. The Dargah management had signed the minutes expressing that there was no objection for lighting the lamp at the Deepatun. They made it clear that the lamp can be lit at any place beyond 15 meters from the Dargah. Now, as Justice Kannan has told CNN News 18, and he has also written his own opinion piece on news18.com, viewers are welcome to peruse it. The impeachment cry in this episode is not an isolated sound. It joins a global chorus of attempts to discipline the judiciary through political theatre. Democracies stumble when legislators or political groups attempt to shape judicial conduct by threatening removal. Even the whisper of such threats can distort the ecosystem of adjudication, he said. Now, in a book titled The Tirupurankundram, written by the sculpture research exponent I.J. Bose, published by Tamil Nadu Archaeology Department, the Deepatun or pillar bearing the Deepam is mentioned. This book, which was released back in 1981, talks about a Deepatun en route to the hilltop, built during the era of the Nayakars. So this is about 400 years ago, declared on the tomb itself as belonging to the Nayakar era. On the tomb, there is a sculpture depicting Hanuman with one of his arms raised and the face turned towards the left. The sculpture has writing saying lamps can be lit on the tomb, says the book, adding that it is a customary practice for Skandar Bhakts or Muruga Bhakts to light the lamp on the tomb during Kartigai Masam, or this month, and especially around the Kartik Purnima, according to the book. Now, this has also been cited by Professor Gurumurthy in the Tughlaq. He is the editor Tughlaq, and he's put this out saying, if this is already there in the Tamil Nadu records, ASI records and also Tamil Nadu government records, why is the ASI currently going down to do this? Now, Professor Gurumurthy is joining us live. Namaskaram, Professor Gurumurthy. Thank you. Now, what's your understanding of this entire impeachment move on Justice Swaminathan? Sir, can you hear me? Yes.
I think first of all, it is very ill-advised and even foolish. Because this is not a ground on which anybody can be impeached. Impeachment has so far been attempted only in cases where there have been corruption and blatant violation of judicial norms. So it is on the merit of the judge as a person. It is not on the merit of a judge as a judge. Here what involves is the merit of a judge as a judge. Whether the judge has given a correct decision or wrong decision is the issue here. Even granting that all that they say against Swaminathan is taken. Whether the judgment is right or not is the issue.
Yes.
If the judgment is right, then regardless of what he has said, the judgment stands on its own. What he has decided is purely in accordance with law, in accordance with facts. For example, if you look at it as a Hindu-Muslim issue,
Right.
the Muslims themselves have conceded that the Hindus can light the Deepam.
Right.
So where is the government coming into it? If you look at it as a Hindu-Muslim issue, which can create, problems between the two communities, not only in Tirupurankundram, elsewhere.
Right.
Second, you look at it as an issue which is justifiable or not. The position in the Tamil Nadu government records, the archaeological survey of Tamil Nadu has established in a book written in 1981 and published by it that this Tiruparam Kundaram temple dates back to Sangam days.
Yeah.
That is almost 2000 years. And 400 years back, this Deepatun was established by Thirumalai Nayakar. And there is an inscription which says that those who have done punyam will light the lamp here.
Yeah.
And the author has said there is a tradition of the local people lighting the lamp on Kartikeya Deepam day. This is the admitted position of the Tamil Nadu government records.
Correct. We've got that here on the screen.
How can the government turn around and say, now a new tradition is being established? Even assuming that this tradition has not continued for some time, it is because of a murder of an activist, a Hindu activist who said that this must be resumed, that this has stopped for the last 50 years.
Right.
So I think the government is on a very weak wicket and it has tied itself in knots by making this move.
Well, Justice Kannan also says that this judgment passes the test of judicial reasoning. We're putting out his quotes also. But the DMK says it's not just this. There are 13 instances of the judge's utterances and his leanings. That's why they actually have complained about him in August itself. That's what they're saying. That's why this impeachment. Your thoughts?
In that way, if you look at many judges who have expressed themselves even against some of the provisions of the Constitution, there is nothing wrong in a judge expressing his personal views. And when it comes to deciding the case, whether he has decided the case properly or not is the issue. If he has not decided, for example, if there is some ifs and buts in this case, and he has taken a position in favor of the Hindus also, he can be called biased. But here there is no such interpretation possible.
Right.
This is only because this gentleman is known to be a person with Hindu views. And I will tell you one thing, I have myself attacked him.
You have attacked
for
Justice Swaminathan.
giving a judgment in a case, a book that was written, Madhuru Bhagan, which was highly offensive to Hindu women. In a particular temple, the Hindu women go and stay around in that temple area for a whole night and pray and come back.
Right.
They want a child, means they can go and pray. And the book that was written was that the youths around the locality used to go and impregnate that woman. And that book created a huge problem.
Yeah, it is
it
quite
affected
offensive
the sentiments
in tone.
of the Hindus.
Yeah.
Swaminathan decided that under the constitution, he has the right to do it.
Wow. Okay.
It was highly offensive. I have myself attacked Swaminathan's judgment.
So clearly he is not biased.
It is not a question of Hindu or Muslim. It affects the sentiments of women.
Yeah, but he has said that constitutionally, if you have the right to do it, you write. It may be offensive, don't read it, or you can do a counter. In this case, what do you think happened?
DMK has always been mindless, particularly after Karunanidhi, who was the only mind of the BJP, of the DMK. DMK has no thought giver today. It is no thinker. It is guided by a set of people from outside, and its entire move, all its moves are directed by politics and votes. So they think that if they take such a powerful stand against the Hindus, there is the Muslim and Christian population in Tamil Nadu is a very considerable one, and it has been built, unfortunately, from colonial days against Hindu sentiments. It's colonial days. You can't do it. For example, the Muslim League president, Qaide Millat Ismail, after partition, he formed the Muslim League and came to Tamil Nadu. You can understand, Tamil Nadu has an orientation which was anti-national because of the Dravidian politics and Dravida Nadu and the Muslim and Christian alignment unfortunately, was not religious. So they want to keep up the momentum of the anti-Hindu sentiments which have been built even among the Christians and Muslims. And they want to, particularly because Vijay is a Christian, they feel that he may take away their votes. So from every point of view, I would look at it as purely a political project.
If it is a political project, the DMK makes a Babri-like reference, and soon after that, Mohan Bhagwat comments on the Tirupurankuntram issue, saying the RSS will also come in if required, although he says Hindus in Tamil Nadu can resolve it. What do you think is happening?
If they are reading it from Mohan Rao Bhagwat's statement, they are wrong, because I have written it 4 months back that they are creating a Babri Masjid kind of situation here in Tamil Nadu. Rama,
you mean the DMK?
to the north of India,
Okay.
is Muruga to Tamil people. They are playing with fire. It will cut across all parties, all communities, all castes. I think they are very ill-advised on a trivial matter. I can understand. You see, there is a dargah there. That the dargah has to be removed. If the Hindus make a claim like that, then the government can say, no, you can't. Hindus are not saying that the dargah should be removed. The only issue that is whether they can go and cut the goats there is the issue. And that has also been judicially now decided at the High Court level, that you cannot give sacrifice on the holy temple, and so you can have the dargah, nothing wrong about it. So where is the question of friction? You are creating a friction which doesn't exist, and say this Babri Masjid kind of thing will come. You are actually promoting it. If you allow these things to grow, then a huge movement can develop, even for the removal of the dargah. You are playing with fire. You are throwing a matchstick to a train of gunpowder. It can explode. It's actually they who are wrong.
So you're saying that
Mohan Rao Bhagwat made a very responsible statement. Is it the Hindus of Tamil Nadu will look after? But if it escalates, then we will see. The same thing happened in Ayodhya. A local problem was turned into a national problem by the secularists and the Muslim communalists. See what happened.
So you're saying that somebody is deliberately creating a Skandar versus Sikandar issue here. Skandar is Murugan and the dargah itself is called the Sikandar Dargah.
There is no issue. You are creating it, because Sikandar issue is not an issue in the mind of the Hindus. Nobody is asking that the Sikandar dargah should be removed. It is only whether there should be sacrifice of animals or not on a temple which the Hindus consider holy. And that is also a matter of judicial determination. There is no role for politics either in the issue of the animal sacrifice or in the issue of lighting Deepam. Both are judicial issues, and in one the Muslims have difference of opinion that we have the right to give sacrifice, and in the other the Muslims themselves have accepted you can light the lamp.
Correct. So I just quickly want to ask you, Professor Gurumurthy, final question, sir. Should the Speaker allow this impeachment motion at all? So, because if it is admitted, it sets a different precedent altogether. Your thoughts quickly, sir.
Assume if on ideological grounds a judge could be impeached by the opposition, because this ideological support is for the ruling party in the center. If the ruling party takes the same position regarding ideological people who give judgment against the government, what will happen to the judiciary? Naturally, it has to be thrown out. Because this is something which will dynamite the judiciary and also the entire justice system. It is every human being has his own plus and minuses. Whether the judgment is correct is the only issue, and not why he gave the judgment.
Thank you, Professor Gurumurthy, for speaking with us. I've got to interrupt you here, and we have to go to this. This is big, and we'll perhaps stay with this for the rest of this edition of The Right Stand, because this has happened after a lot of questions around the Indo-US trade deal and equations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has had a word with President Donald Trump. The two leaders review progress in the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership. The leaders exchange views on expanding cooperation in trade, critical technologies, energy, defense and security. Both leaders agree to work closely to address shared challenges and advance common interests. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a telephone conversation just a short while ago with His Excellency President Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. The two leaders reviewed the progress in the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership and expressed satisfaction at the steady strengthening of bilateral cooperation across all domains. PM and President Trump underlined the importance of sustaining momentum in shared efforts to enhance bilateral trade. The leaders also exchanged views on expanding cooperation in critical technologies, energy, defense and security, and other priority areas that are central to the implementation of the India-US Compact, that is catalyzing opportunities for military partnership, accelerated commerce and technology for the 21st century. The leaders also discussed various regional and global developments and agreed to work closely to address shared challenges and advance common interests. The two leaders agreed to remain in touch. Zaka Jacob now joins us. This is of huge import, Zaka.
Oh, absolutely. I think the fact that both leaders have spoken on the concluding day of the two-day US-India trade talks is also an important signal. Clearly, their respective trade negotiators would have also spoken to the principals and given them an assessment of where the talks have concluded. Remember, for a few months now, Anand, the talks are really at the level of the principals. It's for both the principals to sign off on what their negotiators have agreed to. This, I believe, is the sixth round of talks that Indian and US negotiators have had. We've had Rick Switzer, who's now the Deputy Trade Representative, Brendan Lynch, who's the points person for the India negotiations, both of them here in Delhi. And at the conclusion of those two-day trade talks, both the principals, that's Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, have spoken. Of course, the readout from the Indian side, as well as you can expect something from the White House very soon, suggests that they took a comprehensive view, not just on the trade part, but also on the critical emerging technologies, on the defense cooperation. So they've looked at the entire gamut of the strategic partnership between India and the United States. They don't want to restrict it just to trade. But I think the timing is significant, the fact that it's happened on the second and concluding day of the trade talks. Now we'll have to all watch out for Trump's Truth Social post, whether or not there's been a breakthrough and whether or not India and America arrived at a trade deal.
Before President Trump, Prime Minister Narendra Modi just 3 minutes ago has posted on X, and just reading that, and Zaka will break down the import of the paragraph or the release that's come from the government sentence by sentence in a bit. Had a very warm and engaging conversation with President Trump. We reviewed the progress in our bilateral relations and discussed regional and international developments. India and the US will continue to work together for global peace, stability and prosperity. And he has tagged at Real Donald Trump and at Putin on this, Zaka. So the Prime Minister keeping his post very short. It's not very verbose, but clearly the indication is that the two leaders have had a warm, engaging, fruitful conversation. And like you said, the dynamic is compact. It's comprehensive. Trade, defense, global strategic partnership. Pallavi Ghosh is also joining us live, but Zaka first. Yes.
Yeah, so I think the fact that the Prime Minister has kept it very brief, but he's also ensured that it was not just about a single topic. Well, of course, the trade negotiations have been dominating the conversation between India and American officials over the last many months. India is one of the large countries that is still not finalized an interim trade arrangement with the United States. Surely that would have come up. A lot of the conversation would have been around that. But I think both the readout from the Prime Minister's office as well as this tweet put out by Prime Minister Modi suggesting that they've reviewed the entire gamut of the relationship, including defense, critical emerging technologies, and of course the area of trade as well. But the fact that it's come on the second and concluding day of the two-day trade talks gives me an indication that both the principals have taken stock. Their trade negotiators would have briefed them as to what has been the agreeable points and what have been the disagreeable points. Both of them would have briefed the principals, and the principals have had a conversation thereafter. So we'll have to now wait and see if a breakthrough has happened and whether or not. And I suspect, I'm willing to wager that if one has happened, then you will hear from it from President Trump's
Well, the leaders exchange views on expanding cooperation in trade, critical technologies, energy defense and security. Both leaders agree to work closely to address shared challenges and advance common interests. This is the first line of that the import that we have got, the net takeaway. And the first word mentioned in terms of engagement is trade. Pallavi, good evening. Zaka, please stay on. Dr. Ranganathan stays on this. Yes, Pallavi.
Well, Anand, I think the significance of the chronology is something which also need to be stressed upon. I mean, I did see the US trade, members who turned up at the parliament yesterday. They were, of course, waiting to meet the Commerce Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, and the Commerce Minister himself is in Mumbai. But he made a very, very important statement that I do hope that this deal is going to be clinched soon. Both the sides are working towards each other. But one thing we've also made it clear, and I'm quoting the Commerce Minister when he said that one thing is also very clear, that we are not going to do a deal which is not going to be mutually beneficial. There has been a lot of chatter. There has been a lot of cynicism. I think it's not a coincidence. As Dhaka was rightly pointing out, the two-day negotiations are over. The Commerce Minister set the stage. He gave the cue. And I think the final and the last word really has come in from the Prime Minister. The next step, of course, is going to be on that official announcement of a mutually beneficial Indo-US deal. But what is very, very important and clear is that this deal is done not by sacrificing India's interests. And our interest was to protect, one, our agrarian sector, two, our dairy sector, the small sectors, the MSMEs, and all of this has been kept in mind throughout all our trade negotiations, not just with America, but with other countries also like UK, as well as with the EU, as well as with Australia as well.
Right. Pallavi, just stay on. Zaka, coming back to you, which is the most important line from that you'd like to talk, or would you want to look at the tone of the Prime Minister's, post itself, that perhaps is the biggest indicator?
Yeah, I think the Prime Minister's made it very clear that, look, the conversations were on a whole range of issues. It was not just restricted to trade. Yes, trade may have dominated the conversation. In fact, the first area that the Prime Minister touched upon in his tweet was trade, but there was also defense, there was also critical technologies, there was also other areas in the strategic partnership. Now, remember, India and the US have had a strategic partnership for the better part of the last 25 years. It is going through a bit of a phase. It's going through a bit of a churn. Also, interestingly, this is the first time that the two leaders have spoken after the recent visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, we don't know if those matters also came up. Maybe President Trump asked the Prime Minister about it. But I think the fact that this is coming at the conclusion of the two-day US-India trade talks, with the US trade team concluding those talks, and they'll now go back to Washington, I think that's critical. Both sides want this trade deal. It's just the modalities need to be worked out. And as Pallavi said, the agro issues are the ones that both sides are critically negotiating on.
Right. Zaka, thank you for that. And viewers, he'll be joining you with brass tacks in just a bit. But in the meantime, let's just get a quick comment back from Pallavi. Sources, what are they saying? Is this a successful conclusion? Before I bring in Dr. Ranganathan, Pallavi, quick word. Is there a trade deal to be announced, or is it just going to be a comprehensive partnership? And will there be a de-escalation or, cut down in the tariff rates from the US?
Well, very quickly, I think, Anand, what Dhaka made was a very, very important point. Look at the timing of this conversation between the President of America and our Prime Minister. Look at the kind of visit we had with Vladimir Putin. Lots of trade and financial agreements were signed, and we were also seen as to be under pressure from Russia, from America, not to do a Russian oil deal with Russia. I think India has sent out a message very, very strongly, not just to America, but to the world over, that our interest first, Bharat's interest, national interest will stand first, and second, no negotiation is going to happen with a gun on our forehead. So we are going to look at the interest of the citizens of a country, and whichever country suits us, wherever the negotiations work out, we are going to be doing it with them. So that, I think, is the biggest message which comes across. We'd had a trade deal, friendship with Russia, but at the same time, not giving up on our relationship with America as well.
Right. Thank you for your inputs, Pallavi. Dr. Ranganathan, your thoughts quickly?
Yeah, very quickly. I think I need to really compliment our Prime Minister Modi on the unbelievable patience that he's shown in tackling Trump. I mean, honestly, this is unreal, almost alien-like. I mean, I'm convinced if you were to stand in the middle of a forest for 5 minutes or maybe more, you will have creepers snaking up him. You know, he's that kind of patience that he's shown. Because the fact of the matter is, I think he's drunk the poison for us, because honestly, I would not have displayed this much patience, especially when you have Trump, who's a hypocrite, who's a bully, and who's been basically regurgitating all sorts of lies that are denigrating us as a nation. But the Prime Minister has thought this through. Obviously, what I know, what you know, he knows as well. And he's playing his cards, and I would say he knows so much more than we ever would. But the fact of the matter is, as far as the tariffs are concerned, let me break it down in 30 seconds. Number one, I have always been with Trump as far as the first part of the tariffs was concerned, because I don't believe we need to protect our interests as far as agriculture sector is concerned. We need to open it up. Protectionism is bad. So we are wrong when we say we are fighting to protect our dairy, our agriculture. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could harm us more. But I would have wished the Prime Minister, and of course he has his reasons not to actually tell Trump that the other 25% tariffs that he slapped on us are completely hypocritical, because EU and China are buying more oil and energy, Russian oil and energy, than we are. So, I would have preferred him to ask Trump to remove those 25% tariffs, or if he can't remove it from us, to slap them on EU and slap them on China to display and expose his hypocrisy. So I think it's a double-edged sword. He is walking a very thin line, and he's doing a brilliant job of it, I have to say this.
Right, but in this case, there's one more aspect. What the statement actually talks about: a comprehensive partnership, a strategic partnership, a globally important partnership. You think the messaging was very keen, Prime Minister's engagement, the RIC meet, the triumvirate coming to talk together, plus the 6-day conversation. So somewhere there may not be an FTA, but will there be a comprehensive trade deal that will come into play? And has this patience borne fruit that Bharat is now able to not just firm itself in BRICS, which is going to be perhaps the biggest statement of the future or the biggest alignment going forward, while also consolidating its equations with the West, namely the Trump administration and America?
Well, as a layman, I would say the Prime Minister is playing poker brilliantly. Because while he says we're going to strengthen our strategic defense relations with America and other relations, the fact is, over the last 6 months, ever since Trump started bullying us, we've actually strengthened all these relations with all other countries except America. We have signed FTAs with 3 countries. We are going to sign an FTA very soon with EU. We've strengthened our relations with Israel, with Russia, with China. So what we're showing Trump is we're biding our time till such time that we don't, if America starts to bully us again, like it tried to bully China and China gave it back. We haven't yet given America back like China has. But I think the messaging is very clear. Give us a year or two, and we will give you back punch for punch.
We've signed a reload deal with Russia, but we don't have a similar arrangement with America. There is comprehensive investment and taking up trade to $100 billion with Russia by 2030. Whereas the export levels with US, there is no this one to it commitment to that as of now. So clearly the messaging has been shown that we can stay afloat, we can continue to thrive, and we can continue to build without you. Now you want us on your side or not, and somewhere Trump, with all his braggadocio and all his messaging, seems to have also said that you cannot do without India, because their own policy and their own think tank, and this comes just a day after a very important US strategic think tank came out and said America's future lies with India, not with Pakistan. No mention of Pakistan or any other entity, saying that the only nation that can help partner the US against China is India in this region. And I think that is also somewhere resonating between in the Trump thaw, if we may say that. We're going to wind up on that note. Professor Ranganathan, thank you very, very much. Dr. Zab, thank you so much. We're going to wind up on that note, viewers. Thank you for watching this edition of The Right Stand. Brass Tacks follows. Stay with us.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Let us quickly understand, viewers, the sequence of events and the main players of the incident that we're referring to. Former Trinamool Congress leader Sheikh Shahjahan of Sandeshkhali allegedly plotted a murder conspiracy against the witness Bholanath Ghosh in a rape case. And this is what the witnesses claimed. The witness was severely injured in a road accident after a truck in full speed hit their car, in which his younger son and the driver of the car were killed. Bholanath Ghosh is a key witness in a case relating to the attack on ED officers travelling to question Trinamool Congress strongman Sheikh Shahjahan in Sandeshkhali in January 2024. Now, while talking to CNN News 18, the daughter of Bholanath Ghosh has said that Shahjahan intimidated her father from jail, and he was allowed to use a phone inside jail to make these threat calls. Bholanath has further stated that he knows the driver of the truck that collided with his vehicle near the Boiramari petrol bunk in North 24 Parganas district. Now, according to Ghosh, Alim Mullah, an aide of Sheikh Shahjahan, was the driver who was driving the lorry that crashed into their vehicle. In fact, Alim Mullah was one of those involved in the attack on ED officials last year, but the wife of Alim Mullah has denied his involvement. The lorry was reportedly in the name of Abdus Samad. His family later informed that Samad had sold the lorry to Nazrul Mullah. Samad's daughter informed that he sold the car to Nazrul. While News 18 reached out to Nazrul's residence, his wife said her husband is also not at home. So it's getting very, very murky, and CCTV footage very clearly shows that there was a bike that sped across soon from the accident site. Looked like someone was calling or someone was intimating and saying, apprising the lorry driver of these movements. Now, the cops have registered a case of murder. Radhika Khera, spokesperson of the BJP, should be joining us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is with us, and Professor Manojit Mondal also with us. My namaste, Jai Hind and Vande Mataram to everybody. Radhika Khera ji should be joining us any moment now. But Professor Manojit Mondal, this is a sad state of affairs. This is not something that is expected in Bengal. The allegation by the BJP and the opposition is that this is a free run for goons, and this is all happening ahead of the upcoming elections. Your response?
I mean, this is definitely a very serious matter, and the police, I think, has in right earnest taken up the case not as an accident. Apparently, it appears to be an accident, but the police have rightly probably registered a case of murder, and that's the difference between what is happening in elsewhere